know why it's good?
Why? Because what we got? What we got? What we got?
We got the sizzle. Give it to me
We got
early.
the sizzle. All right, y'all. So, oh my gosh, President Joseph Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Oh my gosh, he is attempting to put the brakes on his love child, taking a love child that he has had, the 4-year-old child. He has a 4-year-old child with the mother, who is a former stripper. Her name is Lunden Roberts. She filed 4 motions asking a judge to allow their daughter, Navy Joan Roberts, to take the Biden surname. So, so he's been trying to put the brakes on his love child taking his last name. The child's mother claimed that having the Biden name would be a benefit to her daughter because it's now synonymous with being well-educated, successful, financially acute, and politically powerful. So this is after Hunter Biden requested that an Arkansas judge lower his child support payments due to a drastic change in his financial circumstances. So about a week after, his baby mom filed a motion to change the child's name, Hunter Biden filed his own motion to block the child from receiving his last name. And he is saying that this would rob the child of a peaceful existence. Some people say that he might have a point because Hunter Biden has been investigated for alleged shady foreign business practices, along with his battle with drug addiction and being recorded waving a gun around while naked in the company of a prostitute. So his attorney filed the motion to request that the judge deny the child's mother's request and let the child decide for herself once the Biden's name is not as popular as it is right now. So the former stripper, Lunden Roberts, said that her child has been estranged from the Biden family and says that the neglect from the family can be rectified by changing her last name to Biden so that she may undeniably be known to the world as a child of Hunter Biden and a member of the Biden family. In 2019, a DNA test proved that he was the child's father. Hunter met the former stripper while she was working in a club in Washington D.C. And the paternity dispute was settled outside of court at that point. So what do you think about that? Because I kind of was on the fence. I'm just like, dang, Hunter, you just really, it's like now is not the time.
Yeah.
Now is not the time. It's like your dad has a whole country to run.
Yeah, you doing that.
And he got to deal with this. And then not only that, when he was messing around with this stripper, it was at the same time that he was, I believe, reportedly dating his brother that passed away's widow. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like at the same time, like, I get what the baby mom is saying, like, oh, she needs to have his last name so she can, have access to, all those benefits that come along with being a celebrity or a powerful name. But then at the same time, it's like, if you have a father that is, he's out here, he's, waving guns in the air, naked with a prostitute, and you being investigated because you're doing something shady with your business ventures over, seas and all that. It's like, you want this child to have your last name and be picked on and...
True. I guess my only thing is, what's his name?
His name is Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden. Mm-hmm. What's his dad's name?
Joe
what?
Joseph Biden.
That's my point. So it's not just you.
Yeah.
So the Biden name precedes you. So if you can essentially, literally give your son the last name of a president, and that's his grandfather or great-grand, that would be his great.
It's a girl.
Oh, well, that would be her great, is it great? No, that's his granddaughter. Yeah, her granddaughter. That would be her grandfather.
Yeah, that'd be her grandfather.
And so literally to say my grandfather's Joe Biden. She don't have to say my dad is Hunter. She can say my grandfather was the president. 46, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Like, that's where I'm at with it. Like, you can just jump over him. I think he's just in his bag. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she right. She right on this one.
Yeah, and you know, I heard other people saying like, you don't want her to have his last name. You shouldn't have his last name because you make him look bad. All right, so moving right along. A statue meant to honor civil rights icon Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. has not seemingly had that effect. It's had the opposite effect. In fact, the monument has drawn a lot of controversy, particularly from the Black community since it was unveiled. So the 10 feet tall, 40. I'm sorry, I'm getting these numbers messed up. The 20 feet tall, 40 feet wide statue titled "The Embrace" was unveiled on the Boston Common, commemorating when King gave a speech on April 23rd, 1965. So the statue was designed by Black conceptual artist Hank Willis Thomas.
Okay.
And he was inspired by a photograph of King embracing wife Coretta Scott King after he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964.
Right.
So if you take a look at some of the pictures and from different angles, people are upset. They are upset about this statue. And some people defended the statue, while others, such as comedian Leslie Jones, claimed that the statue reminded them of male genitalia. So community organizer and cousin of Coretta Scott King told CNN, if you look at it from all angles, and it's probably two people hugging each other, it's four hands. It's not the missing heads that's the atrocity that other people clamp onto that. It's a stump that looks like a penis. That's a joke. So you have the cousin. You have the cousin of Coretta Scott King saying that. Wow. But Martin Luther King III told Don Lemon of CNN that he liked the statue and how he was grateful to be able to see a statue that captures his parents' love story. He said, I think that's a huge representation of bringing people together. I think the artist did a great job. I'm satisfied. Yeah, it didn't have my mom and dad's images, but it represents something that brings people together.
What was the artist's name?
Hank Willis Thomas. So Hank.
Yeah, I see him.
You see him?
Yeah. He's a Black guy too.
Hank Willis Thomas, yes, a Black artist.
Just get a brother some kudos.
Yes.
Jeez.
Well, Hank is an artist and he's not sensitive about his ish. He said he has no plans of changing the statue. Hank said, this is a piece that was selected by the people of Boston. This is not Hank just came out and put something. Thousands of people worked on this. Thousands of people actually put it together, and no one saw this, I would say, perceptive. So other statues have drawn criticism, and this is just another case of it, is what Hank is saying. But what are your thoughts? As a Black artist, do we just support him, or do we call a spade a spade? Because, if you're looking at it from different angles, it is kind of hard to tell what it is. And it does have a look of something perverse.
Yeah. Well, if you look at, for those who's watching the show right now, if you look at this particular picture, right, it doesn't look that way. I think it was the shading of the statue on some of the pictures. I'll pull it back up. Were you going to read this, or you want me to read it? Were you going to read this?
Oh. Can you read
Yeah,
it? 'Cause
so
I can't see it.
real quick, this is by
Everett.
Everett, who's Everett? I don't know. Somebody put it. So he said some of the public discourse around Embrace MLK statue by Hank Willis Thomas is so disheartening, especially from those within the black community. No matter what your opinion may be, tearing down another black man who's genuinely a great artist and good human is gross. I gotta give him a round of applause, cause again, we gotta understand perception, guys. We gotta understand media literacy, guys. And I just did a full-on conversation about how, black men are being perceived right now, and some of the things that we have to start thinking about as it relates to how people want to start protecting black men.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's literally a black artist. Mm-hmm. And in Boston is known to be one of the most racist. Listen.
Yeah.
Please get his brother his props, and maybe he could have did something different. But again, when you talk about art, you talking about somebody else's interpretation, right? And so maybe you don't like it, but someone else may. And that's, if you look at art, let's talk a little bit about even Basquiat. Basquiat is probably my favorite artist, right? If you look at some of his work, some people can argue that literally it looks like a sixth grader drew that stuff. And I heard comments like that.
Yeah.
You're right.
I love his
work. Yeah. I love the colors. I love I love how abstract it is. I love how you can interpret the interpretation of what your perceptions are, right?
Right.
And I want to get more about you, because I know that's kind of like your lane and the things that you. So I do want to know what you thought about it, but also just real quick, if you think about Picasso was probably one of the most premier artists that once you say his name, everybody on the planet know Picasso, right? But some of his work you would look at and be like, yo, what is that? Right? I like the cubism. That's kind of like me when it comes to Picasso. But if you look at some of his stuff, you would be like, yo, what is that? But again, we're talking about interpretation. So I just throw it to you in those 2 points, and you tell me what you think. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, like Hank said, he was like, this is just one of those statues, because he was talking about there's been statues all over, Vietnam and all that people disagree with and they didn't like, but then they came to either value it or over time, it's like they accepted it. So for me, although it does have those weird angles where it looks like something different, but that's how, when you look at art, you see something different every time. And like, I have art pieces in my house, and sometimes I may look at it one way and then put it down, and then when I come back against come back around it, I see something else that I never saw in it. So that's the thing about art, you just interpret it, even though sometimes the artist has like a specific meaning or intention for the piece. It's like you just kind of interpret it, and the artist knows that people are going to interpret it or internalize it whatever way that they see it. So it's just like, I just feel like, give it a chance. You know what I mean? Like,
it'll grow on you.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll definitely grow on you.
Yeah.
And again, remember that this guy is a brother who they gave a chance in something that will pretty much live forever in a predominantly white town.
Yeah.
That used to be racist.
Exactly.
I won't say used to be. I'll just say that was known. How about that's a better word? That was known to be very racist.
Yeah.
And they gave him a chance to say, you know what? We want to be equitable, and we want to give you an opportunity. And we're sitting here kind of being super critical with this gentleman. And can we not forget of why he made this in the first place and who it represents.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I just feel like if Martin Luther King III can be like, he's fine with it, he likes it, and
That's right.
then who are we to say anything else?
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
Yeah. Full stop.
Yes, in the story. So get that man his kudos and let him go ahead. You gave like the perfect example, C, when you said that, with Basquiat. It's so many different people that have spoken to people now, prominent people, whether it be artists, entrepreneurs, performers, musicians, whatever, and told them that they would never be nothing. And, they didn't let that get to them. They kept on going, and they are who they are today. So the celebrity sizzle of the week goes to Meek Mill and Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf, who I believe is now out. But Meek Mill received a pardon by Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf, who, as he was, as they're exiting, they have their pardons that they're allowed to give when they leave office. So Meek Mill received his, and now that he has a clear record, Meek Mill vows to continue to support the community. Meek took to Instagram to share the news with his followers. He posted the official pardon document along with the caption, "I'm only going to do more for my community on God." So Meek already has a reputation for holding down the community. Most recently in December 2022, Meek posted bail for 20 women to be home with their families for the holidays. And Meek also launched Alliance Reform alongside Jay-Z in 2019 with the mission to transform probation and parole by changing laws, systems, and culture to create real pathways to work and well-being. And Meek also partnered with Kevin Hart and Michael Rubin to donate $7 million to Philadelphia area schools, mainly to support scholarships for low-income students at private schools in the 2023-2024 school year. And these students will also receive laptops, tablets, Wi-Fi connections, and other classroom resources. So shout out to Meek Mill. He has done so much for the community. Every school year he does a back to school giveaway where he's given a ton of different things to students going back to school, specifically, the school that he went to, which I can't think of the name of him right now. But yeah, just shout out to him. I'm excited for him and just seeing what he's going to continue to do for the community. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Lauren Sizzle, and you are now tuned in to one of the hottest talk shows in the nation, We Talk Weekly's After the Talk.
I'm Classy Lady Sparkle. You want to binge listen to our shows? Follow the We Talk Weekly's podcast on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Spreaker.
What up, folks? It's your boy Charles Gregory. Make sure to follow us on all our socials at We Talk Weekly.
Hey, y'all, it's your girl Lily. So make sure you keep it locked to We Talk Weekly on 106.5 FM.